What's up, everybody? This is Dylan James from Political Dank House. Hope you're feeling as froggy as I am. I wanted to talk about this Sri Lanka Easter thing before it got cold. I'm still trying to figure out how to work all this stuff, so it's going to be botched. As long as it gets out, though, so. I just thought it was weird that they're so against saying Christian. Everybody saw these tweets from Obama and Hillary and was it Julian Castro and a lot of other people, so it's one of those things that happens weird, and it's more than once, so it's not really that weird. It's just the way they're phrasing it. It's a coordinated narrative at that point. But I've never heard anyone call someone an Easter worshiper. Um, they don't even call people Christmas celebrators. It was just kind of weird. And I've noticed people are saying, well, they back themselves into the corner, Democrats and the radical left, or whoever they may be talking about, this inclusivity and coexist bumper sticker type crowd. They are saying that they back themselves into a corner saying religion of peace, not all Muslims, every single time, to where now they can't say anything or they'll look Islamophobic, which is dangerous because you don't have people of Islam, regardless of how I think of it, of course. But if you wanted a reformation, which it badly needs in that ideology, you wouldn't be able to have it if every single criticism is taken as Islamophobic. You don't think that there's Muslims that want to say not be bombed at a mosque? I'm sure they're bombing mosques too. But this thing in Sri Lanka, they killed a bunch of Easter worshippers. It's just a really weird way to say it, and I think it's deeper than this ideological corner they've painted themselves in when it comes to the rhetoric of Islamophobia versus Christian versus this. Because they have no problem with labeling things, but to me, they just can't stand it because they can't say the name Jesus Christ. A lot of people think politicians up at the highest level are Satanists, and I wouldn't disagree. But they tend to have a bee in their bonnet over Christianity of all things. Whether it's the gay marriage thing, when they could get married, regardless of what you think, they would always go after a Christian baker. There was no Muslim baker, not even a Jewish baker. They wouldn't go after those guys. It just seems really weird that they all have something against this one and just can't even sit without thinking about it. So there must be some truth to it. I mean, it's up to you, but I just think it's very telling on that part. And they never make it about Christian by name in any of these attacks. If you look at, let's say, Charleston, remember? It was, Dylan Roof was a white guy, and he went in and slaughtered all these black worshipers, these black Christians. But the media didn't say, this guy went into a Christian place of worship and murdered Christians in cold blood while they were praying. It was white on black. Because, see, white on black is easier to use than, say, a Christian thing. They don't even want the Christian name in the discussion. Is don't know what to think. And every time there's somebody, the problem with me seems to be that it's synonymous. They look at it in this really weird way to where brown, all Muslims are brown, and all Christianity must be white. So they have someone that's a white atheist, let's say, or an anarchist that doesn't want to be controlled by religion or government, fine. They blow something up if they find out they've ever attended one service. It's going to be Christian killer. This guy worshipped at this church, and they're going to go all into his personal religious and theological background. They don't do that with anyone else. Let's separate the ideology other people have versus this guy. And he's the epitome of Christian. This guy, he was just a good guy and he snapped. See, he was the epitome of a Christian. There's a lot of people that just go to church on Easter and Christmas. I'm sure they'd call them Christian too. And you can choose two sides. They either don't know what a Christian is, which is true, or they're willfully conflating every bad thing like that and not differentiating between the two. Because even a Christian like me, you may have differentiations with how you see the world from a Catholic. Or you might not even say that they're Christian. But the media is going to lump them in together. Every time you see the left-wingers of all kinds and wanting to facetiously just take a stab because they have nothing to come back to. Well, yeah, this really run right if this place had some more Christianity in it. You know, the Pope, if you guys could just wrangle him in, except for the whole pedophilia part, Christians are pedophiles. It's just so stupid to not even know that there's differences between Catholics and other Christians, like Pentecostal and all those things. And secondly, to not be able to separate a worshiper, a Catholic, from the system or the hierarchy or the Pope and the Vatican and all those. I wouldn't even say that the Pope represents Catholics now. So, and I'm not Catholic. So if I know the difference between the two and could say argue with the Catholic on what we think the world is or how things are supposed to be, then I don't see why they couldn't as well. They're just willfully conflating the two, like I said. To go back on that color thing, they want to add color to every single ideology. It's a real Marxist trick. And every time you say something against, say, Islam, they've got you. Oh, you just hate brown people. Oh, you want to be white country. You're afraid of a changing country. And they know better. See if I got anything else on here. I just want to test this out and get something out. I was listening to Owen Benjamin the other day, just in my free time chilling, and he said something that I thought was true. He was saying that true Christians, even the ones that are working on it, not talking perfect before people want to jump the gun, they're less likely to be let down. Maybe a reason why there's not liked, and I'm not saying by people, I'm talking about the government. They're less likely to have human saviors because humans are fallible, they're imperfect. You won't fall for a leader that's going to save you because you have one savior above them all. Money's worthless to them in situations. They'll always choose family. There's a lot of things. It doesn't matter if there's things that are legal. A Christian's not going to do them. And I think that sort of rebellious nature when it comes to thinking in the realms of theology goes not hand in hand, but goes at odds with the government. See that with communism, a lot of them are atheistic. It's because you're worshiping the state versus worshiping a god. And if the god is a state, at least they can control and say, well, the god said this, and know that they did it because it was them that puts out the rules and the doctrines and are to be worshipped. I mean, if you look at the Democrats and other people that sort of lean left, they've been stereotypically more likely to not be religious. And you can look at this Mueller report. Everybody, Mueller this, Mueller that. He's coming to save us. He's coming down off of the mountaintop, and he's going to get Trump, and we're going to impeach him, and everybody, we're going to install Hillary. It's going to be as if 2016 never happened. We're all going to be back to, shit and rainbows, and everything's going to be great. And he let him down. Something came out that we all knew was going to come out. He was exonerated, Trump, and there was no criminal indictments. That's what the whole thing was about. Now it's not about collusion per se. It's about obstruction. But how is he obstructing it if he has been cleared on the collusion part? Can't obstruct it if it wasn't happening. And talking shit, saying, I wish you would stop doing this, and this is real unfair, and that's voicing an opinion. The media especially wanted to criminalize somebody fighting back. Well, if you got nothing to hide, then you should just chill and be happy. No, because then somebody's going to make a narrative and you're not countering it. Roger Stone, when he got arrested, was out there every day as much as he could before a gag order. And they said, why do you care so much? You feel like you need to defend yourself. And he said, if I don't, then you guys are just going to spread shit about me. And it works for all things. You got to get out in front of it. So the whole, you have nothing to hide, then, just be quiet. That's the trap. They know what they're doing with that. But to wrap it back up, this is all over the place because it's the first thing, but I'm doing. But to get back to the radical Islam, they won't speak on radical Islam, so at least they're being structured because if they won't mention Christian in the name and they won't mention radical Islam, maybe it's just there's certain words that they won't mention. I mean, it's not just the officials either. Is the problem is Google. Google's never had a Easter doodle. They have a doodle for every single thing else, every other holiday, which is fine. I don't need Google to validate my holidays or things that I deem important or to mold my spirituality. But it's just one of those things you want people to notice, like a media bias. There's somebody you talked to him the other day, talked about a liberal leaning bias, and if not trying to hint that it leaned right, they were just, no, that's not true. That's not true. I'm not telling you to change it. I'm not calling you a cheater. I just want you to acknowledge it. But people can't acknowledge it. And I think this goes into the Christianity thing too. There's just things in this world that they will not acknowledge. I mean, they just don't want their intelligence insulted. Somebody like Jimmy Kimmel gets on there and advocates for Obamacare and whips his son out, and says, oh, people like my son are going to die if we don't, whatever. That's fine. That's his program. He can do that. But to say nobody's leaning left in the media or in entertainment, you just must like the show so much and it pertains to you so much that you just don't see it. And I don't watch any of these shows, but I thought it was something funny before I cut this off that came up. But to close, the Christian faith always tells us that we're going to be an underdog in the world. So it's not about the bitching. It's about calling things out, shining a light on things, speaking truth, or trying to at least. We know what's coming, and not, end of the world right now, but of things to come. The world's going to hate you because it hated Jesus. And regardless, if you're just a generally good person in life, it seems the more we progress into life, someone gets jealous of it. They see it as a weakness. But there's a difference between being kind and being nice. People need to learn the difference. But no other holiday around this time, not that I know of at least. So I don't know why they would be, somebody like Hillary Clinton would be doing the happy holidays or to all face and all whatevers around this attack when it was clearly one type of people attacked by another one. The only real holiday would be Easter around this time, so it's not like she's got to narrow it down from all these people to think type of list. I just thought it was real underhanded, real shady. I expect nothing less from people like Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. I'm still trying to figure out who's coordinating all this, but that's about it. Go out and hop to it.